Hello, everybody. Welcome to Old Reader, New Reader. And welcome back, my two lovely ho-hosts, Tina and Sean. How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good. I'm happy to be here to talk about Greg Rucka for the second time in 1 month.
So, in case you guys didn't catch us last time when we did a Q&A video, we were supposed to be reading Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman. I almost said Greg Rucka.
Waka.
Princess. But the problem is, Tina and I read the early Rucka stuff. I think it's like 1987 or something. I don't know. And Sean read Rebirth Wonder Woman, and so we were like, okay, let's take a break, tradesies, come back in a month, and we'll all have read all of it. Yes. So now we have.
So, oops, Rucka.
Oops, all Ruckas. So I don't even know where to start with this. I think should we start with the older stuff first and then talk about newer stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm kind of glad now, like in retrospect, that we read all of it, because it'll be interesting to talk about the different things in between. And we don't have to go like super in depth, because like this is, I mean, and I'm even missing a volume here. A lot to get through. But I'd like to talk at least about like the highlights of the earlier Greg Rucka stuff, which is definitely Hikatea and definitely the Medusa stuff.
Yes.
So, I don't know, start with this. What first thoughts of the earlier Rucka stuff? Like, Tina, I know that's a lot for you to like jump in potentially, because this does connect with some other things happening.
Right.
How did you feel? Because you're, I assume, as a fellow nerd, a Greek myth enjoyer.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, like, whether it's Marvel's take or DC's take on established mythology, how they've changed it, how they've adapted to the media that they are working with. So, like, seeing, like, we all know the story of, like, Medusa and stuff and how she came. It's a really tragic story. And a lot of iterations of Medusa. This one was kind of, I wouldn't say it's not as tragic. They make Medusa's character a less likable, I think, in this one, and more adversarial. So that was interesting for me. I don't necessarily like how they did Medusa's character, but I like how the story fleshed out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sean, this is your first time reading OG Greg Rucka Wonder Woman, right?
So, actually, what I realized reading this is that I had read Hikatea and the first like 10 issues of the proper run. So a lot of that was just rereading and refamiliarizing, and I had a blast reading through that stuff. If I could, just because I think this is a very interesting frame. So Greg Rucka, is one of the rare writers who got the opportunity to bite at the apple twice with Wonder Woman. And the first run very much feels like a product of its time. I think it's, good, and I enjoyed it. But there are some pacing warts and certain things that I'm sure we'll get into. And I think you can see the places where Rucka himself was unhappy with his run by looking at the Rebirth run. Because the Rebirth run offered him an opportunity not just to go back to Wonder Woman, but to go back to a different version of Wonder Woman than the one that he wrote, and getting to redefine characters like Veronica Cale, Ferdinand, but also to dig deeper into a character who was very neglected in the initial run, that being Cheetah.
So good.
I think there's so much to mine there. Like I said, I had a great time reading through the initial Rucka run, the early 2000s run here for this. Hikatea is a very interesting story. I'm actually very curious, Maddie, to hear your thoughts on Hikatea, because I've never heard you speak about it. And I would love to hear your take.
So Hikatea is one of my, I think it's a lot of people's like top. Medusa is one of my top ones, because I like the idea of Wonder Woman being blinded and doing all this stuff. But I really enjoy, like, when we meet Wonder Woman in the earlier run, we're given a different Wonder Woman than I'm used to seeing. So it's one who's like an established diplomat who is like taking the stage globally who's still doing superhero work, but is also double timing, like, right? She's like also doing, she's hitting the ground. She's doing like the international affairs, which we don't see a lot of superheroes do. And I think does it pretty well. And I have like a degree in diplomacy. And I'm like, so it makes me really excited to like see this kind of side of her. Hikatea I love because we don't get to see a lot of, oh, in this whole run, because this leads up to a big issue we see later where she kills Maxwell Lord, right? Because she makes that decision. I think this is sort of leading up to that in a way, whether that's on purpose or not, where we see a Wonder Woman who is still beholden to the Amazon ways and laws and expectations. And to see that doesn't work with everyone else. And what does that mean when she has to like go head to head with Batman? And Batman's like, no, you. So if you have Hikatea in the chat, basically this woman's on the run. And she throws herself at one woman's feet as, for the Hikatea, which basically means like, I am pledging myself to you and to work for you, but I also am looking for your protection.
That's
and
supplication.
Supplication, yeah. And so she is honor bound at that moment to accept her and to take care of her, to feed her, to be welcoming to her. And I think it's really neat to see the Amazon part of Wonder Woman, because we get to see it. We get to see it in like who she fights and like her with the gods. But what does that mean for like growing up and how you're a socialist thrown into like man's world, current man's world? What does that look like? I think that's very neat. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Batman is the perfect representation of man's law in DC, not because I think it's a little bit of a misconception. He doesn't obviously follow the rules, but he believes in law. He believes that there is a law and order that should be.
Yeah, because if he didn't, he wouldn't put them in prison.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so having that clash, his ideals of law and order clash with Wonder Woman's, and it's something that's sort of like in Batman's mind, law and order are bigger than individual people. In Wonder Woman's mind, that's also true. So these are huge belief systems coming at odds, but one is based on, I don't know if is it fair to say based on religion in Wonder Woman's case?
I think in a way, like a more, not really a religion, but like a philosophy in a way.
Yeah, it does mix some.
When I think of like old school
gods.
Confucianism and like Taoism, like where it's not like technically God run, but like a very strict set of ideals.
Are you guys familiar with Antigone? I think it is, where it is the secular versus because this is paganism as well. It's the God's law versus secular law, and Batman really envelops that secular law. You could say man's law, but the very secular way of looking at it. Even though he's distrustful of some like law figures, he still puts his faith in a certain like straight and narrow path with secular law. But Miss Prince with Wonder Woman, you have a sort of olden, God's law. It's not religious, but it is a foundational network of hierarchy from supreme beings.
Yeah, and it's like it brings into question, like we talk. I'm in a lot of situations where I talk about just intercultural communication and understanding differences, and like our right is not everyone's right, and there's not always a case of right and wrong, right? So this is two people like, this is my very strict, rigid belief, and this is how it's supposed to be, and they cannot move at all. And what does that look like?
Yeah.
And there should be more instances of that. Anyways, when you think of these Justice League, people from planets, universes, they're gonna have these moments that aren't just like, they're like, it's not gonna Oliver Queen ego against Batman's ego. It's like I know this to be true and right.
But I think there's a third party absent that makes the story slightly more interesting, and that third party is justice.
Yeah.
Justice is not either of their goals. Batman isn't looking for justice because he doesn't care why she was committing those murders. Wonder Woman doesn't either, though, because her only goal is to fulfill this
pact.
This pact, yeah. So neither one of them actually care about what happened or what this girl is really dealing with.
Yeah.
And so in a way, she falls through the cracks as a result of that.
Oh, which is so great too. Like, she's such an interesting character because she brings herself to Wonder Woman for protection because she's running away from the Fates. She's running away from these other like forces that are forcing her to do this. And in the whole time, she's like, please ask me. Please ask me why. And Wonder Woman's like, no, like, you can tell me later. That's not part of this. Because even Wonder Woman's a little frustrated. She's like, shit, okay, well, I have to do this. I still have to offer you food. I still have to take care of you. And I am going to put you to work, like, immediately.
Right. And I think you get to see that, like, even though Wonder Woman is bound by these laws, she doesn't necessarily believe it's the correct thing, but she is honor bound to see this to the end. And Batman's like, Stillworth, like, I don't understand why you have to do this. Our promise is really that deep. And she's like, you don't understand. This is a, like, sacred bond. For Batman, if someone has a tragic past and they do a little bit of good, but they still do something that's outwardly, even if it has a just, and if they do it in the wrong way, he's still going to lock you up.
Which is a perfect step to later with the Maxwell Lord incident, which is one of my favorite moments of Wonder Woman, because she makes a call. Just like, they don't go completely into that whole thing, but there's some crossover issues in Rucka with that, where Maxwell is controlling Superman, and he could kill everybody by doing that.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman's like, I see one option here that will fix everything, and that is right. And they're all like, whoa, like, what did she do? She's like, I'm a warrior still. Like, some calls have to be made. Like, it's not 99% of the time I'm going to choose diplomacy. I'm going to choose taking care of people. I'm going to choose talking through it. There has to be moments where I can make a different choice. Which is interesting, because the other two won't do that. I mean, Batman does wound people beyond belief that probably they aren't really living, but, you know.
I think Wonder Woman being the one who's willing to go to that place has always made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really questioned it. In fact, I like it more within the context of where the character was at this time, where she's this diplomat and everything else, because it's like, well, yes, I am this diplomat. I am the one that the superhero community would rely on to, you know, give a statement or represent us or whatever. I always think about the moment in Identity Crisis, you know, the rest of the content notwithstanding, but it's the moment where she gives the eulogy. And that's one of my favorite Wonder Woman moments of all time. And I can justify in my mind that same character would kill Maxwell Lord because it's the greatest good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't, it's weird looking at it. You can be like, I believe in justice. I'd like, Omar and my wife always joke that I'd be the first person to be like, she did this if somebody did something wrong in front of me. But in that instant, I'm like, I totally see Wonder Woman, you know, like, her side of this. And I honestly support it, because the greater good at this time is Superman can do so much damage and kill so many more people. You just trade this one life for the many.
Yeah. And this thing comes up often. But I'm going to keep moving us through, even though I'd rather just, like, talk at length about each part. So to make sure we have time to talk about current Rucka, I want to talk in general about the kind of characters and landscape here. Because here we have, Wonder Woman has, like, a crew, which I'm glad comes back later with modern Rucka run, because you don't always have this crew. You don't really have it in New 52, which is also really great. But she's got, like, a home with friends, you know. We've got Ferdinand there as well. We see some repeat characters that show up later. We see Veronica Cale being, like, her Lex Luthor throughout this run, which I think she's a great one. I think she's very similar to Lex, also in a very neat way, where she's like, I've been doing all this work, and this one just shows up and tells everybody peace and love. And that's ridiculous, you know, which is very similar to Lex in a way where he's like, I've been doing all this work, and then this man just shows up and everybody loves him. But how did you feel? Because you haven't read as much Wonder Woman.
Mm-mm.
How did you feel about her kind of cast and crew, and why is Ferdinand the best? And if you disagree with me,
Ferdinand
you're wrong. Because
Ferdinand is the best. I love Ferdinand. He's such a comforting character in like the older stuff. Like he's there, like it almost seems like as a domestic servant. Like he's there to cook. He's there as really a pillar of her crew. So he's a very stalwart member that provides some stability. And he just seems so perfect. But he has his own like trauma to deal with, but he doesn't project that until he actually starts projecting it on a character. But he's just very like an unsung hero. He's there, he gets the job done, and you know, he is such a good character.
I really appreciated her supporting cast in both iterations.
Yeah.
You know, the embassy setting provided the first run with kind of like a base location that everybody could be at. I really like Ferdinand as the chef of the crew. I think that Rucka's ability to write an ensemble is something that, maybe ensemble is the wrong word, but a strong main character with a strong supporting
Like
cast.
a foundation for them.
Yeah, I think that that's one of his strengths, and you see it in almost every Rucka book that there is.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really, really love Etta Candy, and
modern Etta Candy with the modern.
Yes.
So sorry, keep going.
Yes, no, yeah, exactly.
God, she's so good in game. So thankful. We'll get to that.
It was a bummer that she wasn't as like present in the first run, but I love how much emphasis was put on her in the second one.
Yeah, it makes me feel really happy because there's a lot of different Wonder Woman series, and like she doesn't always have a crew, really. Like maybe she's got Steve and Etta. She doesn't always have a ton of others because the sisters come in and out. By sisters, I mean like Donna and Cassie. Because I mean Donna, she's my other fave, and bless it, she just has a lot going on and nobody knows how to write her. But she doesn't always have like a solid crew because the Justice League's different. The Justice League, I've always said like Justice League is like your coworkers. Right. They're not necessarily like your family. A lot of times, it's just because it's a rotating group. You're not always the same way. Like she's definitely close to the Trinity of Batman and Superman, but there's always going to be a little bit of distance there. And I think that's definitely shown in here as well. Where Rucka does a good job of showing like their closeness, but there is a difference here. Also, I always forget his name. Is it Dr. Psycho? What's his name? Yeah. Man, the Dr. Psycho Rucka Kale stuff is great because I think, man, they do a good job of showing just how creepy and awful that guy is.
He's super creepy.
Oh, the villains in here are very good and real, and they just because I think it's a perfect background too. Because while we're doing this, Wonder Woman's in the spotlight. She's got a book. Everyone's like, what she do with her hair and her makeup and her sex life and all that kind of stuff. And you have this guy who's just so creepy and is willing to like control people. For him to be creepy and control people's bodies remotely is perfect. Because I felt more scared of him than I did of like Medusa or Veronica. I was like, this is creeping me out. Even though I love him in Harley Quinn. I'm like, this creeps me out. Very well done.
Dr. Psycho was extremely creepy and perverted, and those were good things for the run because I think having there be, I mean, yeah, he has powers, but like his biggest the biggest thing that's reprehensible about him is actually his personality.
Yeah.
And it's a very real world personality.
Yeah.
And that needs to be represented, I think, because unfortunately that's a reality of what women deal with and what Wonder Woman would deal with.
Well, and to have Veronica Cale be like this strong, powerful woman, right? And even she's like, I'll throw away my care about that. Because I don't like it's very like modern white woman feminism, right? Where it's like, yeah, I care, but like I need this creepy, creepy, pervy, gross man to do this. Like,
Right.
Yeah, if
Rucka.
this can get me what
Can you
I
be-
desire,
You
then
can be
I
vindictive,
will
but can you still be
align
an
with it.
ally?
No, that's one thing Veronica Cale cannot be, is an ally.
Ugh, God, so gross. And continuously. At
Yep.
least in modern Rucka, she feels slightly bad for it. But not enough.
No.
Not enough.
Not nearly enough.
I mean, good on him for giving her a reason. But very One Piece of him to do that. But like, ugh.
That was actually something I wanted to. I mean, I don't know if you have space for it, Maddie, but
Let's talk about
Veronica Cale is one of my favorite DC villains. I think she's fantastic. But there's a pretty stark difference between the first go round and the second one
Oh
in
yeah.
Rebirth, where in the first one her motivations are very flimsy. It's very much like I guess you could sort of try to extract a little bit more value out of her reasoning, but it basically is she's jealous.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
jealousy.
Whereas it becomes a lot more nuanced in the second run, and it becomes about her daughter and her working in service of the gods to get her daughter back and all these different things. Like, I like that a lot more, obviously, but I think the character strength is evident right from the beginning.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's very interesting because I think, well, one, she's a great foil Lex, which is why I like her too, because I think they both have very similar reasoning for why they do what they do. But I did like I liked having more backstory to her, and I guess we can go ahead and jump to modern, unless we want to talk about some more stuff in the beginning. But I liked having more to that because she does care about her daughter, but she really doesn't care enough about everybody else. She does feel bad sometimes, but obviously not bad enough
Right.
to still do these things. Because you like there's a point where Cheetah is healed and she is safe and she's awesome. And it took her no time at all to agree.
I don't think she really had much of a connection. Like, there wasn't that connection to Cheetah, Barbara Ann, as there was her best friend.
Yeah.
I think there's more connection there, and you saw more guilt from her with her best friend, and especially with her daughter. But for Barbara Ann, she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna use you
again
in
like a brutal way, because it's not. That's
and
not like a simple
it didn't
like.
really help her, I don't think.
God, well, it didn't. At the end of the day, it didn't help her at all.
It was done for nothing. And I was just,
Yep.
Way to go, Veronica.
That's the tragedy of it, though.
Yeah.
Is that Veronica Cale, just because her motivations, or because she's gotten into bed with some bad people, everything she does just goes wrong and nothing works.
And if she just worked with Wonder Woman.
Right.
Sorry, continue. I mean, Director.
No, yeah, you're. I agree with that. But she's such a tragic character as a result. She has everything she wants, theoretically. But that's not enough. The world isn't enough for her.
No, I think she'd find other things. I think even if her daughter was not an issue, she would still continue to be this way later on, right?
Yeah.
Like, she would probably still. I mean, she is. Her daughter's fine and safe. And she's still acting up. She's still doing these things. She's still carrying out her vengeance. So back to Rebirth Wonder Woman. So this holds a special place in my heart because when I was getting into comic books was Rebirth, pretty much. So the way it's split up is our year one, which was coming out in issues, it would be like back and forth. So we'd have whatever the present day was happening, where Wonder Woman's having these like mix of memory. She's not sure what is what, which also works really well with the rest of Rebirth because, for some background, New 52 rebooted everything.
Yeah.
But then Road to Rebirth and Rebirth, some things were coming back. Barry Allen was coming back. All the Titans were getting their memories back. Superman and Lois were coming back from the other universe. So like they broke their like rule about it. They're like, we'll leave a little bit in. So it was a perfect time to kind of redo some stories and have it be part of like memories being weird. Anyways, so it was a great time to be like, what is really happening here?
yeah.
So each issue would go like the past for year one for Wonder Woman, and then like whatever's going on in the present, back and forth. and the trades are collected similarly, but they put them together. So like present year one,
Oh.
with stuff towards the end. So that way, which is good and bad, because there's some things that are happening here. Like in the beginning, Wonder Woman thinks she's returned to Themyscira. She thinks she's fixed it with the help of Cheetah. And she's like, oh, I'm back. And Steve's like, that's definitely not your mom. I don't recognize any of these people. But you would have known that if you were reading sequentially. And you also would have understood what was happening to Veronica Cale's daughter at the same time. Because by the time we get there, you're like, why does her daughter have no face? I thought it was like an art error. You would have known leading up to that what was happening. You would have known leading up what's happening to Cheetah. You would have had this like back and forth. But it's kind of difficult to read in a volume that way. So I guess first thoughts comparing like the previous to now. How are you liking this? Did you like? I have a preference for year one over the present year personally, for a lot of it, but all of it's great. What y'all think?
Tina, why don't you kick us off?
Hey, I don't know if it's how it's mapped in the collected editions, volume 1 and volume 2. I wasn't sure what was year one, what's not, because I think you asked me earlier before we started, like, did it go back and forth,
Yeah.
and it does a little bit, but the way they put it together, I don't know if it's published date or what, it works very well.
Okay. This must be the deluxe. Sorry, continue. I'm going to look up the mapping for that.
Yeah, this is the Rebirth Deluxe Edition.
Okay.
So I think it was mapped very well. It was very understandable for what was going on. And it wove the story almost in like you understood this is past, this is present in a chronological way. Like we are going back in the past, we're seeing some things, but we're understanding as we're moving forward what is going on. I think it flowed very beautifully, but there were some things that were a little bit confusing until I got to the end, which is that tree. I was like, what is going on with it? But it explains it as we get.
Is Omar maybe that was you typing, because usually it's me.
The deluxe mapped them, so year one is all together. Okay. Well, it does kind of go back in the past. I guess it's going through her memories. But it does. It flows very well. So I understood it perfectly.
That beautiful, beautiful Nicholas Scott art. And then that beautiful, beautiful Bilquis Evely Scott art. I can talk. I've been sick.
So I really like it. It was really nice. It had a really good flow. I really enjoyed it.
So this is my favorite Wonder Woman run.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love this so much. First of all, huge shout out to Nicola Scott, Liam Sharp. They did the art for the first back and forth piece, and then Bilquis Evely comes in later, which I forgot that she was a part of this. Too. And she's such a superstar now.
I know, right? I was like, oh shit. That's my girl.
Yep, and she killed it too. She did a great job.
Oh, God, it's gorgeous.
So I feel like the art was just so fantastic all throughout, right? Mm-hmm. But Greg Rucka really brought, like, he put his whole ass into this story. I feel like he really brought it. I feel like he wanted revenge. Like, he wanted to come back and, like, really put his stamp on this character. And I feel like you can tell he learned so much as a storyteller in the 10 years that it had been since the initial run. It's paced so much better. For me, reading it month to month, like in floppies, I loved the back and forth. I thought that was such a fun, convention. The villains were excellent, and I like how there's a relationship between them, and the story flows in that way. Again, so much more cohesive than the first time around. There's a reason for everything, and it all goes back to on the villain side, Veronica Cale, and her obsessions and her deals with these gods. But on Wonder Woman's side, it's like, what's true and what's not of my past, which for anyone who cares about Wonder Woman as a character, that's such a big piece, because her origin has been messed with and told and retold so many times in so many ways, coming off the New 52, which was a great run in its own right, but it reinvented so many things. that was such a big deal to be doing at the time. And I think Rucka satisfied so many of us who are fans of Wonder Woman.
I love having it settled, and I love that. I mean, the first issue draws you in, or even like the first bits of like the year one, I think draw you in so well because I mean, not just year one, I guess both. Because when we first touch into this, she's already kind of saying like, and then this is how it is, or this is how it is, which I love. Feels very Donna Troy.
That's that very first like page on volume. Well, I won't say page, but her origin stories. Like, was she made out of clay? Was it because of the gods, or was she given? Like,
because it has changed a lot. I mean, it really will just depend. But I love going from that to like getting her a beginning origin and having it back and forth with Steve. Mm-hmm. Like if you told me on paper that's how it was going to be, like before I read it, I'm like, really? Right. But I love the way it is. I love the way that it's like this inevitable way that they're brought together and they're kind of their growing periods of life. And what brings it to that meeting on the beach. It felt very romantic and cool. And I'm not always I like Steve, but I'm never like, oh my God, Steve. But I really was like, oh, okay. Okay, Steve.
It was well done. And I feel like this was the only story that really like validated or justified Steve's presence for me because he's an anchor for her here.
Yeah.
And like he plays a role that basically nobody else could have played in her life. And I thought that was more critical than the relationship, which justifies the relationship.
Absolutely, I agree. Because it didn't feel like, okay, we just need to have a guy that's there.
Right.
And then the way he is there with her throughout this, and the way it kind of wraps up towards the end. And I love, there's so many good quotes in here. And I'm kind of jumping around, and I'm going to keep doing that probably. But where she talks about like, my ability to love is limitless. Like that's where I thrive at, my ability to love people, but I'm not necessarily good at the romance part, which I think is even noticeable in the beginning. Cause there's like this moment. I also appreciate that they address that she does like women as well. Mm-hmm. I always hate when it's not brought up. But even like the other Amazons are like, oh my God, oh my Aphrodite. Like I cannot, this woman get out of the bed. Like she's gorgeous. And like, isn't she with so-and-so? Yeah, but also this person and this person.
Oh, when she's stepping out of the water and they're like, Jesus, I can't with this one.
Same, I get it.
Who wouldn't have that feeling?
Give me a chance. I'd be too intimidated, but like, just give me one chance.
I'd be like, I've got a wife.
Tina's built different than me. But
respectfully, I'm looking at your eyes.
That's your wife in the back.
That's actually my wife. That was not us.
We were in Olsen together. That should be for an AMA discussion.
Yeah.
When is this AMA happening, by the way?
I don't know. Omar, get it scheduled. I want that for Christmas. I want the AMA scheduled. Anyways, but I love this moment because you get to see this breakdown of Wonder Woman. So when she's kind of confused in her memory, she's reaching back out to Steve. They haven't talked to her in a long time because in New 52 they put her with Superman, which is a mistake. DC never should have happened. Disgusting. To jail. Take yourself. Never. I won't even read it. I can't.
Have you ever read it? You've never read it?
I've read New 52 Wonder Woman, but I haven't read the Wonder Woman Superman.
Okay, so I feel you.
I would do it for you. That's good.
It's good though. That's the thing. Like it's kind of good.
Maddie, I would have to go with Sean. Like I haven't read it, but seeing how she talks about him and their interactions, reading Red Sun, I was like, that is something that would be interesting as a what if. I'm interested in entertaining that.
They do it in the animated movies, and I don't mind it.
Okay.
It's not my preference. No, Omar, we want to be drunk with you. Okay? That's the thing. All of us together, please, for Christmas. Thank you.
Please, let me be there. Like, I want to be there.
Sean needs to be there. Me, Sean, Tina, you, whoever you want.
Oh,
my mic will get muted.
It usually does. I mean, there's been times I've been on a show and he's just like taking us off the screen. but it's usually for opinions. I'm like, but I love this moment because she's panicking throughout here, and she's having this whole breakdown. And the fact that they even get like a whole breakdown, she has to be committed for a while. It's gotten so bad.
Like that
because
was
she
very
has a
poignant.
full. Oh yeah, a full mental break, which I thought that like
it's like
I appreciate that in comics. It's kind of what I wanted from Heroes in Crisis, but never got. And I am a Heroes in Crisis hater for life. Because at the beginning of it, I love the idea of seeing all of these superheroes are going through real trauma in a variety of ways, right? But we never get to see them recover or process that trauma. And I would like to see that more, but I like to see that she does have a breaking moment. And it's not just because her memories are being messed up, but like she's having a real crisis of faith. Who is she even if her memories aren't real? Is she Wonder? Because I would say if I had this memory, right, and Themyscira didn't exist anymore, my memories are messed up, I would think, am I even a Wonder Woman? What even am I? And the fact that like everyone comes in for her to like help and support her during this, I think is really impactful.
Yeah, it's the best case for a superhero character supporting cast to be literally vital.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays where I rail against the supporting cast issue all the time of a lot of these books supporting cast just suck. Absolute Wonder Woman is one of the best comics right now.
Oh.
But the supporting cast sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, they don't need to be there. Like, right? Like it's not
right. There's no reason for them to be there other than they're there. Whereas here, it's like Wonder Woman doesn't make it through this. She just doesn't.
No.
They need to be there. They all do.
Man, it's hard because I'm trying to think. There's so many people because there's like past and present. I feel like I'm playing like a visual novel with multiple pasts right now. Because I'm like, okay, what do I focus in on?
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, like Zero Escape or AI Somnium Files right now. If you know what that is in the chat, you can be my friend. So I want to talk about Cheetah. I want to make sure we dedicate a good amount of time to Cheetah because I think I've never read anything that did Cheetah so well and showed her in so many aspects of her life. Like from the beginning of being friends and getting to meet her relationship with Etta. I'm so glad they wrote that in because I think it adds more to Etta and more to her. I think that really, it makes them more endearing, more interesting as characters. Like, oh, how cute when she said suffering Sappho. And Edda's like, I think I know Sappho's poetry. She's like, oh, do you? I was like,
oh, wink.
Dead. And how heartbreaking, because you get to see her in the past and kind of go into this. And then to see Wonder Woman come to her when she's still in the throes of her god, right? And she is still tortured. She doesn't want to be this way. But Wonder Woman still sees her as worthy and still sees her as her friend. Oh, it just makes it so much sweeter.
That Urs Kataga, I think his name is.
I just avoid saying it.
That whole arc with that god and Cheetah is so phenomenal. Like how Greg Rucka managed to make me at least care so much for her. And she's not the main character of the book. She's not even like, oh my God. Wow. It's a horrible story. I was thinking about fucking, sorry. I was thinking about,
we're past 5 minutes in. It's fine, I think.
I just know on this channel, the rules are a little bit strict.
On Saturdays for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like Angel, from Buffy and like how he was so tortured.
Shaw, did you just say the magic words to me?
Listen. I go back.
My Buffy comic collection downstairs.
Oh my God! Not only do I have every issue, I have Buffy and Angel on DVD. I've seen every episode multiple times. I used to fall asleep at night watching Buffy. Buffy is everything to me.
I had David Boreanaz pictures all over my wall. Me, a middle school girl with a picture of David Boreanaz in a tub on my wall.
Mind you, the reason you like him is because he played a vampire who's like 300 years old or something like that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't now. Probably, maybe.
We gotta do a Buffy.
I will talk Buffy anytime. I've got all the
Please.
comics in the basement. If I'm ever poor and on the streets, I'll sell them, I guess, for money. But like that's the only way. All of them, except for Boom, I stopped because I was like, no.
Well, yeah, I don't know. For me, the Joss Whedon era was better.
Yeah, absolutely was. And I'm not a Joss Whedon apologist for everybody in the chat. I do not.
It is what
but it was good.
They knew how
the
to
comics putting Xander with Faith, that was weird. We can all agree it was weird.
But they had their moment though in the show. They had their moment in the show. Remember that?
It was a choice.
But you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Where she was choking my man?
Yeah.
I was like, what's the problem here?
Yeah, okay, we have to have a whole chat about Buffy. So like,
oh yeah.
Here's all of my probably problematic thoughts about this show.
Oh my god. If you go based on the Buffy subreddit, I have a complete disalignment with most Buffy fans.
Sean, I can't wait.
Yes. Sorry for the derailment.
Do you want to sing the musical sometime together?
I would like to hear you sing it, but my pipes are not. They're not.
I can do the bunnies. That's about it.
Wait, Tina, you're a fan?
For you. I remember when it came out. I watched it opening night. I used to have in my pull files when I actually had stuff pulled at the comic shop. It was one of my very first issue. I got most of the Buffy comics. I did let them go, but
that's fine.
I collected both the what was it, the live action covers or the then the actual art covers. So I collected both.
We're perfect together. All
you do have to check that out. Cold Up, trust. Oh, so good. Dynamite's that's gonna be interesting because there's some bad stuff in there. There's some bad. Oh wait, no, yeah, because didn't Dynamite get Buffy? Dynamite has Buffy now, right?
Yep.
Which means they have good stuff because Boom, they did what everybody does. They gaslight you by bringing in Dan Mora. They catfish you. They're like, I heard you like Dan Mora's art. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then they're like, what if he left after 4 issues? And what if every publisher did this?
You're right. It's happening right now with Transformers.
Of course. They hate me. Man, Dan Mora's on Transformers?
Yeah, for 6 issues.
Shit.
You're going to have to buy it.
Well, all right.
Just the 6.
Yep.
I mean, I read the one era of Transformers I read I liked. Anyways, back to this. Lost my train of thought now. Anyway, yeah, so we agree. Cheetah was great.
Cheetah.
I'm glad that he did it the way he did because I think seeing her rogue gallery before and after was really cool to see the way Veronica brought them in the beginning. It's like with the date. Great issue illustrated by Mirka and Adolfo. Beautiful. Another great artist, killing it.
Yes.
Also, I love the kiss on the cheek to Veronica at the end of the date. Also good.
Yes. I really enjoyed the date.
The date was good. But it's cool to see him in both starts because I think luckily we've seen the movie at least. And I don't like talking about 1984, but it exists. But at least if you saw the first movie, you recognize some of these characters as well, showing up, like the Dr. Poison lady. I'm a Wonder Woman fan, and I promise I don't remember anybody's names.
Maddie.
Huh?
I said you drugged me to that movie. Don't you remember?
I booked out the whole theater for my birthday, and now I use the cup to scoop litter. So,
how many people went?
It was during COVID, so I could rent it 150. So I'm sure we had I don't know, 8-10 people.
Yeah, it wasn't too many.
It wasn't a ton. Okay. And everyone got to see me really sad.
Why were you so sad?
Because Wonder Woman would have never Steve Trevor use someone's body and then sleep with him. That's insane. And it was 3 movies in 1 movie. That's ridiculous. I just have a lot of thoughts about that movie, and I was really upset about it. And I'm glad.
I did like her 1980s outfit.
Oh, so yeah, that was fine.
That's gorgeous.
I just think, Kal-El, no. She deserves all the hate. Anyways,
well, it is worth pointing out, though, speaking to the quality and iconic nature of this run, just how many moments were translated from
Yeah.
this run to the movies very quickly. The whole like war stuff, the Ares stuff, that and the Dr. Poison, that's in that movie, that first
Yeah.
movie.
And I'm glad we got to see Cheetah stuff because I think it came out at the perfect time for people that, because I watched the first movie. Like, what got me into comic books is Guardians of the Galaxy and Wonder Woman. Those movies are the reason why I'm doing all this now.
Really?
So I have a lot of love for that first movie, even though I have a lot of hate for 1984. But I'm still thankful for where I am now from that. But yeah, there's a lot of like similar things. So if you were watching the movie, at least you could understand some stuff. Like, okay, Ares is our big bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to see how that's developed. And I like that if you have read the earlier Rucka stuff, there's a lot of stuff in here for you. Like the fact that Ferdinand's back, which it made my heart jump. Like, oh my God, like he's an old friend. To see Io, who was the Amazon that she freed in the earlier Rucka run. And like even design was very the same. Like it felt kind of a homecoming in a way to see a few of those like beats and major characters. To see Veronica Cale in the same way, like I thought it was very well done. Let's talk about Etta Candy and how she's also perfect in this. I think Etta and Steve were great. I think they were very well used in this. Etta is a queen. Etta was so good. And Etta and Cheetah were also great. Great choice. I don't know if that has happened before this. I have no idea. I don't remember it. But chef's kiss.
Totally agreed.
Yeah.
I read this a few weeks ago when we were originally going to do it. What was the name? What's Veronica's best friend's name again?
Bree?
Brianna, yeah.
Brianna.
Is it Brianna?
What does her name become? Cyber?
Yeah, Cyber.
I love Cyber.
Yes.
I can't wait.
He's used in a fun way.
Yes. I can't wait till we get a proper Wonder Woman movie that has Veronica Cale in it and can use these characters. And so we can get Cyber. Oh my God.
I'm surprised. And I think, with the DC animated universe, which I do love, there was only ever like 2 Wonder Woman movies, which I think is a sin. Because there were 5 million Superman and 5 million Batman movies. Yeah. And I do love them all. It would have been nice to have something more along the lines of this with this universe. I think it could have been done well. Even if you just take one of these stories, I think it could be really cool.
I also don't understand why Maxwell Lord needed to be in the second movie anyway. Like, why not Veronica Cale?
I think they probably thought, like, it won't be that interesting. And so, like, we'll just have Cheetah. And, like, I love Pedro Pascal, but I didn't care for the way the character was done in the movie. I thought that wasn't Maxwell Lord.
That was nasty. It was so bad. Like,
that's a character you save for later to show that, like, a seemingly normal guy can become, like, the greatest villain of it, But earlier DC didn't know what they were doing, and I stand by that. So as long as this merger doesn't go really poorly for all of us, hopefully everything will be fine. So we're getting close to time, but there's one of my favorite comic book moments of all time is at the end of this, and I want to talk about it. It's a small part, but they had this flashback to where Wonder Woman first meets Batman and Superman. And I think it's great. And I bring this up a lot because I think this one moment really shows who all these people are. And it's when she has them hold the lasso and she asks them who they are. And Superman says, yeah, Kal-El, Clark Kent, right? I think he says both names.
Yeah, he does.
And Batman says Batman.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite moments because I feel like he so got Batman in that moment. Because Batman at his core is Batman. That's how he sees himself. He doesn't see himself as Bruce. In his truest self, that is who he is. Yeah. And I think it's one of my favorite Batman moments. It's not even a Batman comic, and it's like one section of a page.
Yeah, I had to reread that over because I was like, they're holding on to her lasso. Yeah. He should be telling the truth. Why isn't he saying Bruce Wayne? But he truly believes he is the Batman.
Because that's his real self.
Yeah.
This is actually a moment I've seen be fairly divisive. There are people who see this as Batman having overpowered the lasso. which I don't understand how, like, reading
No.
comprehension. And then there are people who say that it doesn't feel true to Bruce, that he sees himself as Batman.
No.
I feel like, and this is going headcanon mode right now. But to me, I'm autistic. No surprise to anybody here. But I've always seen Batman similarly. Right?
Bruce has always been the mask.
Yeah, Bruce is the mask. Batman is himself. That is when he's being truly himself. And I won't even get to his lack of empathetic understanding of anybody, which I don't have that problem. I mean, I have over empathy, but like, he doesn't have a lot of emotional intelligence talking to people, right? When he's Bruce, he seemingly like fits in, right? It's like that's exhausting for him, but he plays the part so well. But Batman is like, no, this is just me, and he'll leave mid conversation, right? Think about it. He's like, I'm done now. Bye. Autistic, right?
I was just thinking about that.
He loves his collection of stuff in the basement, right? And he's very blunt, right? And this is, again, that's just my headcanon. I'm not saying that anybody, no one coming in and be like, Wonder Maddie said, calm down. We all have our thoughts about things, but that's something I've identified in him, because he very much like, this is me. This is who I'm comfortable being. The last chapters.
I would love for you to make a video taking that topic like totally seriously and talking about it for 10 to 15 minutes.
I would love to. Again, hyperfixation autistic moment, but because there's a lot that's there, and I think, you know, you say about some other characters, but like, come on, that guy.
I never ever in a million years would have put those things
Now
together.
you're gonna see him do some stuff and you'll be like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's not a neurotypical thing to do.
How could somebody read this scene and be like, oh, he's so overpowered, he can just like, he literally believes this. Bruce Wayne is his mask. He's
Batman can't beat magic,
Batman.
okay? Like, magic is magic.
Honestly, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that your take was so interesting that I feel like I have nothing more to say other than I would like to hear more.
Anytime. So we're getting close to time. This could be difficult because you always ask for a rating out of 10. I'm okay if you do this separately, old Rucka, new Rucka. If you want to do it all in one, that's also fine. I know that I think James told me I've reviewed old Rucka like 3 times on this channel. I think this might be the first time I've reviewed Rebirth Rucka.
Wow.
Even though it's very important to me. And I still have never made this outfit. I made the whole corset and I never finished painting it. What do y'all think? What's the rating out of 10?
For me, initial Rucka is 7. I think it's solid, strong. The art inconsistencies bothered me. I like Rags Morales the best. No surprise, he drew his ass off. Even in Identity Crisis, he did such a great job with Wonder Woman. So 7 out of 10. And then the Rebirth run is a 9 out of 10. It's my favorite Wonder Woman run, one of my favorite DC runs. I think it's Rucka doing everything right that he couldn't get right the first time around, and really giving us a baseline for all these characters who writers in the future can look at and utilize them because of the strength of the foundation that Rucka laid.
Tina.
So the earlier Greg Rucka, I really think it's a little disjointed. I think the Hecate and then the Gorgon, like Medusa, I think that's a solid 9 out of his writing. The way he writes Ferdinand, stellar. The supporting cast, stellar, 9. But you add all that sort of jumbled disjointedness to the overall feel of the beginning books. Like he was really kind of trying to find the niche within some of Wonder Woman's actions, or the way the interplay between the villains and stuff, the one-sided notes with, you know, some of the the people, I want to say it's probably a 6.57. So I kind of agree with that sort of range. Hecate, Medusa 9, but everything else pulls it down. The more modern stuff, I enjoy it. I'm still going to give it an 8. But the end, I will say, is like a 9 for me. But it's still an 8. It's not my favorite ever, but it is so well written. And the artists really do Rucka's script justice.
Oh, yeah.
So for the original Rucka, we're pretty close. I was actually I was thinking about the same exact thing before you said it. Because I feel like I have to separate Hecate and the Medusa arc from everything else. Because this is, his length of writing was interrupted by other things happening. So he did have to write like tie-ins to those. Cause I think Hecate and Wonder and the Gorgon stuff for me is a 9 out of 10. I think the rest is like a 7. But I still love it because I like being in there with her. That's an era of Wonder Woman. I just enjoy being there with her. And the rebirth of it to me is like a 10 because I don't have anything I would add or change. I like it exactly as it is. Very happy with it. And Tina, I would love for you to read. No, I really want you to read New 52 Wonder Woman. I want to get your opinion on that really bad.
That's good stuff.
Ooh,
I have never revisited it.
It's good. The art's different though, so I don't know if you're gonna jump it or not. It's the same as Paper Girls though. So if you read Paper Girls,
okay,
the same artist.
I did read Paper Girls.
It's not for everybody.
Paper Girls.
Okay.
I actually want to read more of this Superman.
The new one.
Yeah,
it's great. I'll talk about it anytime. It's so good.
So
it's so good. Superman. Plus, he's a kid. It's great.
So.
Oh, I will talk about Rebirth Superman. He's lovely. Ugh.
Who was the creative team on that?
Why are the names gone?
Tomasi?
Patrick Gleason and Tomasi.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dream Team. Honestly, great covers. And then Super Sons happened. When John was a kid.
When things were still right in the world, something went wrong in the whole world.
They were like,
"This
is really lame." People are no. Let the boys be boys. Let them be boys. Let them have fun.
Corporations took over everything.
Super Sons was perfect. It's one of my omnibuses that I have like not on the shelf, like it's on display.
Oh, fancy.
So you have like Wonder Woman statue, and then you have Stranger in Paradise Gallery Edition, and then you have Super Sons. Like here, witness this, and the compendium.
3 flavors of Maddie.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up. So next week, make sure I have all my dates together. Next week, I think. Let me just check. Next week is Omar. He's coming back. Omar and I can't remember if we have a guest or not, but I think we're doing Absolute Wonder Woman. I know Tech Lib talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again anytime. And then the week after that, Lars coming back, we're doing Hellraiser.
Oh.
And then, because we were going to do it last month before I got sick. And then the final week of this month, I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking maybe the current run of Green Arrow now that it's done.
Okay.
I don't know. I just want to talk about Roy Harper, to be honest. Sean. Let's say talk your shit.
Hell yeah, I love it. Good energy. Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been a very fun stream. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. There is daily videos, live streams here. Omar and the crew work so hard for you all. If you're in the holiday spirit, I'm sure the Patreon could use your love and support. As for me, I am at the Comics Pals right here on YouTube. We'll be live Thursday at 8 p.m. to talk about this week's comic book releases, including the Absolute Batman issue 15, the origin of the Joker. Everybody is going nuts for this. I'll have 2 covers. Shit. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. Tune in on Thursday at 8 p.m. to hear us talk about it.
Ooh, the Joker who doesn't laugh.
Yup. Revolutionary idea.
Yeah, so we'll catch y'all next time. And next time you see Omar, tell him to get us on the drunk AMA this month.
I I'll probably be seeing
I'll
him
tell
very
him
soon
too.
to turn these in.
Okay, you tell him, and I need to ask him about something else too. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. You've
Thank
made
you.
my day. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.